Whew!
Now this is a Patreon.
Oh, this is
special,
yeah. I mean,
right?
we're right
How
into it.
fun.
Patrons are listening right now. We don't need to do any, any of that intro stuff. So
no, we don't got to tell them who we are. They
right.
know who we are and why they're
you
here.
You are paying for this, patrons. So thank you again. I mean, thank you so much for giving us any of your hard-earned money. And this,
because we know as well as Mary Steenburgen does in this movie. It does not come easy. We all work hard for our money.
Money does not grow on trees. And honestly, if you're looking for help from an angel, you're shit out of luck. That angel's not going to do much for you because that angel is only concerned with your Christmas spirit. That angel doesn't give a damn for this dirt hole town or anyone in it.
To be fair, he is a Christmas angel. He said that. He was assigned that.
Yeah.
So... But he's specifically involved with the spirit of Christmas.
Yes. No, he is a Christmas angel. Yes. I love how though it is so specific, and this woman is not in need of a Christmas angel. Like, she needs an angel that will possibly get her husband a job or something.
She's down and out a bit.
Right.
And she needs a good old fashioned Hallmark Christmas miracle. Right?
Well,
to get herself out of this shitty situation that she's in, this life.
Yes.
But it sounds like from the start she had hard times. I mean, she lived in a hotel growing up.
God.
The Ramada Inn? Not a fancy inn.
When she is out in the street with her husband and she goes, last year after my dad died, I was like, what is happening here? We have to pile your dead dad onto all this stuff that's going on. Hold on. I am blasting all over the place with my levels. I need to.
My levels are so calm; it's almost making me nervous. But I did a test before and listened. But I have very low levels.
Hey, listen. You know what? This is what the patrons pay for.
Yeah, they want to make sure they want levels.
Doing this, whatever.
Continue.
Okay. Yeah. I'm good now. Totally good now. Yes. Ooh, all right. So patrons, maybe you just listened to Legend yesterday.
Yeah. Maybe it's all recent. Yeah.
You had your Sly's giving. We're moving into December. Actually, this is December 1st that you're listening.
Yep. Happy December.
So Christmas, if you celebrate it, and
if that's your holiday,
right? We don't judge, unlike Santa in this movie. If you don't want to celebrate Christmas, that's fine. Okay.
What was his accent? Was Santa German?
Oh, he was so This is the most European Santa I think I've ever seen in a movie.
Well,
and I guess accurate. I mean, if you... Yeah? The Santa legend, I assume he would be European. He would be German.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's
very
where he
old.
Came from.
Very old. Very bearded. Yeah.
I have so many questions about his workshop, too.
It's run by...
Multicultural? Multi-ethnicity.
Yeah.
People are speaking different languages.
Yeah, why not? He's taking in everybody. It's the North Pole of the whole globe.
Jamie, they're all corpses. This is where you go when
they're
you
dead.
die.
They're dead.
You have to work in a factory for Santa for the rest of eternity after you die.
Only the Christmas angels do, right? Only selected you get chosen.
I don't know.
These guys are better suited for this job. They all looked happy. Anybody look chained up and miserable to you?
No. They all looked very old. It looked like just a bunch of World War I vets hanging out. I think it's
where when older people go. Oh. What does an old person like? They like to make children happy, I guess. I mean,
one of my favorite parts of this movie is when Harry Dean Stanton's like, little girl, you have to go to Santa's. You're on your own. I can't go back there. And I'm like, what did you do? Is he banished from this place? And it's like a half a mile walk, too.
He's a different type of angel. You know, he's got his limits, but he won't take her.
I guess.
He's like, you take this on your own. Well, he knows too his powers. He knows he could break a what is that glass thing? The globe, snow globe.
Yes.
And put that back together, but he can't fix her broken mom.
Yeah, at times his powers seem very limiting, and then other times you realize he can basically turn
He stops
back
the
time.
hockey puck. He stops the hockey puck from
he stops the hockey puck, and he pulls a letter out of a mailbox. The powers of the Christmas angel.
Gideon, the Christmas angel.
All right, let's get into it. This movie is called One Magic Christmas. It's from what, 85? 85 or 86?
85, I think.
Mary Steenburgen, Harry Dean Stanton, and
say
some
those 12
other
times
people.
fast. Yeah, and a bunch of other people. What's his name from CSI and Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh, yeah,
Turtles,
Elias
the movie?
Koteas. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I've heard it Elias.
Yeah. I'll say
Yeah, that sounds
Elias, because
better.
Elias doesn't sound like you're really going to call somebody that.
This Elias Koteas in this movie is crazy too, because he's like, man, if your bitch wife would just give you your $5,000 that you need, you could make a ton of money off of these bikes that you're making, dude. And like, he's a bad friend.
I thought he was a brother at first.
He might be a brother.
He just comes in kind of hot. He
really does.
He's just the buddy, and he's like, and boy, what? Okay, so when we start this movie,
and after he's killed, he swoops right in. He's like, "Hey, Mary Steenburgen, hop in the car with me. Like, I'll take you home. That's cool. I'll be the dad to these kids. That's fine. Not a big deal."
No,
I
you took
know,
a much
I
shadier
know.
aspect of this movie. Where's your Christmas heart? Where's your spirit?
I don't know. I don't know.
Didn't Gideon get to you, or maybe he has to? Maybe he's got to find your letter that you wrote to Santa as a child.
I will say that if I'm outside and someone looking like Harry Dean Stanton shows up, my first thought is not Christmas angel.
No, me neither. If I'm approached by a man in that big brim hat and that long trench coat, I'm definitely like kind of creeped out.
When this
and the
movie
little girl
starts,
too. Like good.
This movie starts, and Harry Dean Stanton is in a tree playing a harmonica. Immediately I was like,
Lots of harmonica.
This is a hobo story. I was like, okay, because that's who he could play. He could play a hobo. He could play a guy who works in a coal mine. He could play like a demon. I would not think Christmas angel.
And he could be a Christmas angel.
I guess
Sure
that's it. The ones you don't assume might be a Christmas angel.
Just that's who they would be. So I have to tell you this quick story about this. So
sure.
Barrett, maybe it was a couple of weeks ago when I was first saying we were picking finalizing our Christmas picks, he was like, I used to love this movie. I can't remember the name of it, but when I was a kid, I would watch this one movie and my family hated it. So I always watched it alone, but it had Harry Dean Stanton and he was like an angel up in a tree. And I was like, yeah, I've never heard of that. I don't know what you're talking about, right? So I completely forget about that conversation, and I'm watching this movie tonight, right before this recording, and he comes in for the last 20 minutes, and he comes in and he's like, is that Harry Stanton in a tree? Is this my angel movie? And I was like, oh my God, I think it is.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I think this is the kind of movie that a lonely child would watch alone and get really sad about. I don't know. This movie, I understand that in the end, there is a positive message and
beautiful message.
Yes.
Yeah.
But getting there was both the saddest thing and the most hilarious thing.
It was reality because it was. She was keeping it real. I felt like they were a family in Detroit or something. Right? Because
they're like in Garbageville, North Dakota or something. Like the fact that snow in most movies looks gorgeous. And they went out of their way to be like, nope, this is snow that's been laying in the street for weeks. It's been driven over. It's all brown. It is so gross and so oppressive. The whole town is in dire straits. This guy's going to open that bike shop. It's going to be out of business within 3 months.
I know. Where are they riding their bikes to?
Who's buying a bike in this town, people?
They can't even afford it. He's giving the bikes out at the end of the movie, right? Doesn't he give it to the one little girl?
Oh my God. That neighbor who he is obsessed with? Oh, no. My children, they don't have to eat. I have to finish this bike from Molly Monahan.
She's got problems, I think, the Molly. I think she's...
But the family
addicted to cigarettes.
The family sits in a restaurant and goes, and I don't know, their dad says something like, there are people, though, that, have it much worse than us. There are people that are super poor. And the girl goes, oh, like our neighbor? Molly Monahan? Yeah. Let's just yell their problems out in the middle of a crowded restaurant.
Well, and the mom comes in with the food stamps.
Yes.
They are not, you know what? The economy is tight. We don't know what happened to Molly Monahan's dad. We don't know.
We never see him.
No,
exactly. Who needs a Christmas angel? Molly Monahan.
Molly Monahan.
So much more than Mary Steenburgen.
No, Mary Steenburgen was on the verge of a breakdown. Let's be honest.
That woman is holding on by a thread. Like she is barely keeping it together.
Yeah, when she's in the shower and trying to have a moment and singing, then she's like, all right.
That's all she has in her life is this, just like this bit of hot water, and her rotten kids have to piss.
Then the neighbor kid, too, comes in for a piss.
Molly Monahan!
Get your own damn angel, Molly Monahan.
This movie is crazy. I had never heard of this before, and I don't know why.
I had never.
I feel like I have watched every holiday movie, every holiday special that was in the 80s and into the 90s, and I had never even heard of this movie.
I think this was one of those that came on a lot when didn't Disney do that like Sunday night movie thing?
Oh, I could see that.
I think this was on then. I'd never seen it before. I'd never heard of it. Like, I don't know. I tell you what, though. Well, no, I won't tell you yet. All
right. So we haven't even started the movie. Harry Dean Stanton's
He's in a tree with his harmonica, and then all of a sudden, talking to the moon, who is Saint Nick, right?
Sure.
It's Santa, kind of, is also the man in the moon, and he gets directions that he's going to have to help a lady, and he's going to have to go to... I forget the town he says. He tells him the town. I don't remember this town.
I don't know. I didn't write down the town.
They end up being at the mall at Christmas.
Right, yes. But Santa says some things about her. He's like, you have to save this woman. I think her name is Mary. That keeps it nice.
No, it's Jeannie.
Oh, yeah, it's Jeannie. What's her last? Hanks.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So he even says, he's like, Jeannie Hanks. She doesn't even say Merry Christmas to people. And Harry Dean Stanton looks so sad.
It's a big
He looks so sad, and he goes, I know.
He does.
Oh, my God.
He does take it in like,
Right.
She's been on my list even before you said anything.
She probably likes those red cups at Starbucks that don't even say anything about Christmas or Jesus on them.
Oh, Jeannie.
So, we meet Mary.
Right.
I mean, sorry. Oh, we meet Jeannie, Mary Steenburgen, and her loser deadbeat husband.
Oh, he's so sweet. He turns out to be a bit of a deadbeat, we find out, but he's so sweet.
Right.
So
yes. I mean, this guy is blissfully unemployed.
Oh, yeah. Because he feels like everything's going to work out. He loves bikes, and he loves his family.
Yep.
They're in the mall, though, at Christmas time at the mall, and it's Santa, and she is hustling her family through the mall. We can't see Santa. We can't take a picture with Santa. It's $4.50. I make $4.50 an hour at the grocery, and we can't afford for us to go take a picture with Santa. We came here to buy socks. Is what she tells them.
I love that. The times before Amazon, when you had to literally go to the mall to buy socks, they don't have like a Kmart within driving distance. I'm sure they do.
They're at the mall, but then the family's sitting down for some donuts together. It's a good cheap meal. That kid stuffs that jelly donut in his face. I don't know what that's all about, but we have to watch the son. The kids are adorable. The little girl in this movie is just as cute as she could be.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. And little boy, his one and only role.
Well,
I had to look him up on IMDb.
Oh, really?
And the dad, he's in everything.
No joke.
He was in like Mad Men. Yeah, he's one of those guys. You probably saw him on a CSI episode or something. Okay.
There are a couple of members, because wasn't Harry Dean Stanton on CSI? There's a couple of CSIers roaming around these places. I think I just lump them all into one.
I don't think Harry Dean Stanton's ever been on. Maybe. I don't. You know what? You might be right.
I don't know. I don't know that for a fact, Barrett.
So after they're at the mall, we soon find out that Mary's husband is unemployed and has been unemployed for a very long time.
Since July. June.
Yeah, well, no, it's June, because he says July, and she very quickly goes, June.
Well, she's had to work full time, and it's not easy.
Right.
They're depressed. They are a sad little family. The house, the company that he worked for is taking their house.
I'm so confused by this. He says he worked for a radio station.
Yeah, but the company owned the radio station owns the house.
Was he like an on-air personality? Is this like the sadder version of Private Parts? Like if it didn't work out for Howard Stern?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God! How about when that guy brings the other family?
Oh my God, that's terrible, right? So she's like we said, she's on edge, and she's like she has to pack. They literally never get to packing, which I'm like, don't you guys still have to move?
Yeah.
Because
for some reason you're on this husband's side, and I don't quite understand it, because they get home and she's like, "Listen, can you help me pack up the house? Like we got a week before we have to be out here." And he's like, "You know what? Those bikes downstairs, Molly Monahan's bike isn't going to build itself."
No, it's true. Hey, he's not going downstairs to do some shady systy work. He's going downstairs to do what he loves.
I am not saying he's a bad person. He lives in a fantasy land.
Well, yeah.
Where
she
they
says
have
that.
enough
That's why
money.
she sings that Star song to him.
That is pretty great. When he's like, "You know what? If you came out here to make me feel better, you're doing a lousy job."
He's like, "You're actually making things worse, you dumb shit."
You're making things worse. He does a lap, and then he's like, "Of course I'm not dead. What are you talking about, you crazy wife of mine?"
He's like, maybe you do need to be on the pills. Maybe it's better.
I do someday. Next time we start up Skype, can you just say, "You're not dead"? Like, I want someone to greet me like that one day. Because I don't know if I would react like he did, where he's like, "Of course I'm not.
Yeah, I just went for a walk.
Let's go inside."
Yeah. Well, maybe she was worried. You know, you go for a long walk. Lots of people, like the little girl she's quite the fleer. She runs off a lot. Sometimes it works out for her.
I understand at the end of this movie, time has been rewound. So in everyone else's mind, none of this tragedy has happened.
Right.
But Mary Steenburgen has to live with this for the rest of her life.
That this has happened to her, this whole experience.
She watched her children die, come back, and then her daughter then disappeared again.
Yeah.
And she watched her husband shot to death.
Yeah. But
this movie's insane.
Did she? Or was Santa trying to teach her a lesson?
Oh, that's the way to teach somebody a lesson, I guess. You know what? You're going to get into the Christmas spirit, even if I have to murder everyone you love.
It's like the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, you know? It wasn't as...
But it's like the ghost of Christmas future the whole time. It's just all depressing. Everybody's dead. Everything's horrible.
Well...
It's not Remember Those Good Times, because she never had any good times.
She must have at some point. And she does, so for as tense as their situation is, there's times when they're together and they have really nice moments. I mean, she's on the brink because she's stressed with the finances and the time of year, and they got to be moving. But they seem to have a nice little thing going. I'm rooting for them.
Oh, they do.
Right?
Right. I'm just saying... Santa doesn't need to make it any worse than it already is.
Understood.
Just to teach her a lesson.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, we started.
And if you're going to teach her a lesson, at the end, be like, "Oh, P.S. You found a box of jewels like in your crawl space or something, and now all of your financial problems are solved," because none of that is solved at the end.
But that's not what she needs, don't you see? She needed to appreciate her family. And they had to be killed for her to appreciate them.
Okay. All right. I'm buying into this now.
Okay.
I think she appreciated her family. She is working, 12-hour shifts at a grocery store.
Yeah, and a miserable one, too, for a horrible manager. That manager is just not a nice guy.
All right, so...
My friend's got a trendy little haircut, though, I'll tell you that. Okay.
Did you notice that the dad has just, like, bike parts hanging from, like, fishing line in the basement?
I mean, he wants to own a bike shop.
He even says he's making his own designs. Like, he's designing bikes in a way that have never been invented before.
Because they're dreamers, his family. The Grangers. They're dreamers.
And why doesn't that grandfather be like, I live in a mansion
I know,
alone.
why don't you guys come live? I thought that. I'm like, when they were pulling up to the house, I was like, whose house is this that they're pulling up to?
Right.
That looks roomy enough for the kids and everybody to stay at.
Right. It's within driving distance. She could still work the job at that grocery store, I assume.
Let's move in with great grandpa. What's the problem? And maybe we do.
What is the problem?
We don't know.
And he didn't look well, too. He was exhausted just getting up to that.
Yeah,
attic.
he was winded. I like it when he gave him the gifts, like, here, you take my old book and you can have my old snow globe, and there you go. I gave you guys something.
Guess I don't have to get you anything for Christmas.
And they are totally disappointed.
Those kids are devastated.
They're like, we just overheard a conversation that our parents saying that we were going to get an Etch-a-Sketch and a tea set. And Santa ain't coming.
And this space cadet of a dad, like his response when he's like, oh, okay, that's a great start. We'll get the rest of their stuff on Monday. Well, he's like, what stuff? We have like $32 in the bank.
No, they had $5,000, enough to start his business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's in the bank. And she's
totally sink this family.
Well, Barrett. Great. I called you Barrett. Well, Grangers or Dreamers?
All right.
That's...
I think I would assume Barrett's on your side.
He's watching this because, like I said, he only caught the last 20 minutes, and when he realized this was his movie, I think he's downstairs watching it now.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because I rented it from Amazon. Is that what you did, or did you?
No, I got it from Amazon. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is easy to find.
Yes.
This isn't like...
Surprisingly, and again, for not having ever heard of it, I was like, oh, other people... And I kept calling it like a Christmas miracle, and Christmas is magical.
It's a very generic name. Yeah. When I was looking it up, they kept trying to show me a Hallmark movie from last year.
Okay, when the people come in, did we even get into that?
Well, we're not there yet because this is when Harry Dean Stanton like hangs out with the kids while those other kids are playing street hockey.
Oh, yeah.
I love that part because Harry Dean Stanton yells at the kids playing street hockey and he's like, hey, be careful, there's little kids over here. And you just hear the kids like, piss off, mister. He has a connection with the daughter.
Yes.
Harry Dean Stanton does. He talks to her a little bit. She tells him.
Again, she is not at all creeped out with this guy with this trench coat and this hat. But yes, she says Mom doesn't believe in Christmas.
Giant brimmed hat. And it's black. And he's wearing like a black trench coat.
Yeah.
And he's Harry Dean Stanton. This is red flags all over the place. So he uses his magic powers, as you said earlier, to sort of deflect the hockey puck away from striking this girl and her brother. Yeah. And Molly Monahan, she's there.
Yeah, she is. She's the neighbor that hangs out. And it goes into a window, which shocks the shit out of the kids. They're like, it broke the window, like they've never seen a broken window before. Which then, couple scenes later, they break it with a mop. Another broken window.
This put upon family. I can't. At every turn, everything gets worse. The way that they are telegraphing that, like, overflowing tub in that scene, I was ready for child death. Like, I was like, is Molly Monahan gonna like fall in and drown?
I thought she was gonna burn herself like hot water burned baby. I was like, what is gonna happen?
Literally, like, every kid that walks in, they show them lock the door. And the tub is slowly filling with scalding hot water. It's like, this is terrifying.
Yeah. Well, and you think, what more can happen? This lady's depressed. She's having a hard time of things. She's in the shower having her little moment when the phone rings, which, crazy.
And I love how, I talked about this in our last Mary Steenburgen movie.
Oh, that one in
She's an odd look. I would not call her an attractive woman at this time in her life.
She's got her own kind of attractiveness, but yeah, she's not a traditional lady.
I think she's more attractive now.
Yeah.
Like, as an older lady, she looks fabulous. Like, that curly hair and how thin she is upsetting in this movie.
You're concerned.
And I love how soft-spoken she is when she's in the shower and the phone rings and she's like, can somebody get that? Somebody? Anybody? Do I have to go get that? Can anybody hear me?
And she doesn't shut the shower because she's going to hop back in, I guess. But that's where the danger happens, really.
One of my favorite lines is when she's outside the bathroom because the kids are using it, and she's like, please, God, in my next life, can I come back and have a house with 2 bathrooms? Like, this is where she is in her life. She can't fathom.
No, she doesn't think that in the future.
World?
Yeah.
No.
Like, the next house we buy, I want to have 2 bathrooms or.
No. No, she knows that's not happening. She's like, I'm going to live out my days with 1 bathroom.
Mm-hmm. Not after her visit from the angel, but anyway.
Oh. So this is when the radio station guy shows up and shows another family their house.
Oh, yes. They come right in. And again, she is frazzled because she hasn't started packing. And she knocks the kid down. If she falls, the kid falls over. And then there's the tension with the yellow paint because the woman who's going to buy that.
That's so great. Yeah. Hey, this kitchen looks like shit. This yellow paint is terrible. Oh, but I picked that out.
Yeah, the look the other lady gives her is just like, oh, well, whatever. You have shitty taste.
And she's so embarrassed. Like, she's so embarrassed because her house is a mess. God forbid her deadbeat husband would use his day to maybe pick up or do anything. She's running around the house, like, knocking over lamps and stuff. Just trying to clean up.
He is unemployed and hasn't packed a box.
He's just in that basement making bikes for Molly Monahan all day.
He's a Granger. They're dreamers. That's all I'll say.
I'm not giving him excuses anymore.
All right.
So this is when we have the shower scene.
Yep.
It's not as deadly as we think because the tub does just overflow.
Yeah, it just gets, it's a mess that needs to be cleaned up, essentially. I like it. The dad, what's a dork? Because this is a Disney movie, so the dirtiest thing the dad can call his boss is a dork. So the little girl tells the boss when she's my daddy says you're a dork.
Yep. I was waiting for him to be like, well, I canned your daddy's ass, so take that. Also, you guys will be homeless in a week.
Yeah, he rolls in, shows the house to another family, and is also like, you'll be out of here by the 1st, right? She's got 2 kids, cold, heartless.
Yeah.
If he is the radio station guy,
that's a terrible radio station. I would boycott that radio station.
Yeah, but all the supervisors in this movie are jerks because her supervisor at the grocery store is a jerk too.
Kind of everybody in this movie is a jerk. What about the guy who ends up robbing the bank? He's a terrible person.
He was coming in on his own hard way.
No, I understand.
He's got a kid in the car. Did he abduct that kid?
Has it so
Everyone's
badly.
grumpy. Everyone's in a grumpy... and P.S., maybe it's because the town is open on Christmas Eve. Like, the bank is open.
I don't know. Like, this town needs, like, an economic angel. It doesn't need a Christmas angel. Like, do something. I can only imagine every storefront is, like, boarded up. This is going to be a ghost town in, like, 10 years.
It's not going to last. It's not.
No. That guy is trying to sell his car for $100.
Yeah. And then, but he gets $50 for the camp stove.
He gets $50 for a camp stove and is over the moon. This guy was $50 away from committing murder.
Yeah. Times are tough in this area.
Times are more than tough.
And he's got a kid in the car. We don't know whose kid it is, but there's a child in the car.
That kid looked old enough to be able to sit down and go, listen.
Well, he was going to drop him off at the bus station.
The bus station. Yeah, any listeners who might be children, just if your parents say, we're going to drop you at the bus station for a few hours.
I got something I got to take care of.
That means they're doing shady shit.
Dad's robbing a bank, basically.
Right, they're robbing a bank. They're dealing drugs. Yeah. Something is going on with your parents.
And why a bus station? Like, what are you taking the kid?
I don't know. Not like, I'm going to leave you at the neighbor's.
No.
Or here's a babysitter. I know they can't afford a babysitter. But like, I don't know. I'm going to drop you at the bus station.
Yeah. That's
with the homeless weirdos sleeping
maybe
there.
Because he thought he was going to have to make a quick getaway so he could meet the kid at the bus station and then they hop on the bus.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe.
Jamie, I think you got it.
I think I did.
I think you got it.
I know.
Yeah. He's not going to stay in this town after he robs the bank.
No, he can't.
No. Wow. All right. Some good thinking.
There we go.
Yeah. So again, kids, if this happens, like maybe
just know in advance things are going to be bad for you. Yes. Which Harry's?
I mean, things are probably already bad for you.
Yeah, clearly things are not going.
They're going to
best.
get worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get to go to the North Pole like little Abby did.
Right. Okay. So anyway. Let's talk about her job a little bit. Her job at this grocery store.
Yeah. She's a bit distracted sometimes at work, and she's definitely not an enthusiastic announcer. Like, the guy has her announcing the sales and what's going on in the market, and she's like, so, we have pork roast on sale. And just
trips over her words a couple times.
Very sloppy.
Has to go back, yeah.
And then
her boss is kind of a creep until we find out he's a pretty great guy at the end.
Great guy.
What? At the end of the movie,
when he tells her to come back on Tuesday,
you know what? If you're not coming back today, don't bother coming in tomorrow. I'll see you on Thursday. Yeah.
He says that begrudgingly because he has
I don't know. He smiles at the end. She's very appreciative. No, he's not a good guy. I'm just saying at the end, everybody has to end up being better than they actually are.
It works.
Right.
Of course. Because the Christmas angels come to town.
Is it mandatory that managers at grocery stores have to dress like pharmacists? This guy's like wearing a lab coat walking around.
To let you know he's the one in charge.
He's
Otherwise
in charge.
You might think that it was the lady with the fancy haircut.
Right.
The one customer in our line is the guy we see later who robs the bank. He's kind of accusing her of overcharging him, I think, of charging him for chips or something like that.
Did you notice what he called these chips? He called them Dorito chips.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
Never heard anyone say that before. Dorito chips. Yeah, it is really weird because he's like, you charged me for those Dorito chips twice. You see what they're trying to pull here? You see what's going on, everybody?
I'm going to go to the AMP, he says. Yeah. Yeah. After we could tell her job is already on thin ice, right?
Right. Yes. And she says something I imagine everyone in customer service says, which is, you know what? Fine. Go to the AMP.
Yeah. She just
have fun.
Straight up. She's like, I don't need you here. I don't need your attitude. But her boss isn't far behind.
Oh, and then poor Molly Monahan's mom comes up to the register. Oh, this poor woman.
Right? She's so sad. She's got $30 exactly in these food stamps.
I know. She doesn't even want to say the word food stamps. She's like, I got these thingies here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have enough.
And there's not much that she could do.
No. And she's so nice. Mary Steenburgen's so nice. And she's like, well, I could probably lend you. And she's like, no.
Just take this off.
I don't really need these. And
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this poor woman.
I know. You feel for this whole first half of this movie, you're just feeling so sad for everyone. For mostly,
I like to think Gideon messed up, and he was supposed to go to the Monahan's house.
It's like, dang, I was just a house away.
Right. He just got the addresses confused. They're neighbors.
Close enough.
Right. That night is when she comes. Oh, is there something else we want to talk about before she comes home with the Christmas presents?
Yeah.
And as you said, an Etch-a-Sketch for little Billy or whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. And a little tea set.
Yep.
And those are fine presents. Those are fine presents.
But they're not going to be enough.
They're not going to be enough. The
He
dad
knows.
knows. Yeah.
He's like, when you're a kid, it's about, and I like her. We don't want to get them something from Taiwan that's going to break easily. We don't want to spend and she's right. You don't want to just fill the tree with these cheap toys. And he's like, no, we'll get him the good stuff.
Right. Yes. I mean, they're both right. I understand it from his perspective because we don't know what the year before this was like. He was he was high flying in his DJ position.
Yeah,
Who knows what he was making at that time?
They were doing all right.
Right. They had a house that isn't theirs. Like, I don't know.
I guess mortgage was free. The company covered it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. and it's one of these things where having kids and going through the whole Santa thing, like I kind of like it was very difficult for me to, and even just having conversations with my own kids, like, well, why don't certain kids get presents, or why don't, because
there's some hard questions there.
Yeah. Santa, like, why would he ignore? And even the kids are like sitting on the steps, and she's like, well, wait, why are Mom and Dad buying us presents if
he
Santa's
knows
gonna? The brother does.
The brother knows, because even in the very beginning, when they're walking through the mall, the little girl's asking about, is that the real Santa? And at first, Mary, or the mom, is about to kind of say, you need to know right now that Santa, and the dad and the brother are like, don't tell her. She's only 6.
It was a bad day at the grocery store, I assume.
Yes, totally. So
she probably got a hole in her socks, and she has to go get new ones.
That's why, exactly, because she works those long shifts. So yeah, she the kids are listening at the top of the stairs to this discussion where money is tight, and they just kids have to know that, they're just not going to get a lot of gifts. And the dad's like, no, I've got cash, we can use it. And
see, I don't know how you would handle a situation like this, especially if they had a good Christmas last year. Like, I know it's a dumb excuse, but do you say something like, well, Santa, like, takes turns in certain years, he can't get to everybody, so certain years your parents have to get you stuff, and then he'll hit us up next year or something like that. I don't know.
You rob a bank is what you do.
Well, I mean, you do have that option, definitely.
No, I do think that is it's a tough situation. And listen, we could get deep on this. There's many parents that find themselves in this situation.
Sure.
Because it is, you've got kids. It is this crazy, like, this thing you've got to live up to. And the image of the toys, like all under the tree. I mean, we were lucky. We always had great Christmases growing up. But I know that my parents struggled some years to make that happen.
I'm sure.
And I don't know firsthand what that struggle looked like. I'm sure my mom was buying toys all year round to try to, save up, or, and some Christmases might not have been as big, but I didn't, in my kid eyes, I didn't notice.
No. Yeah, that's the good thing about being a kid. Everything looks bigger. Like, everything is much more extravagant than it was. Because I even put things under the tree for my kids, and my wife and I will stand back and we'll be like, this doesn't look like a whole lot. And I'm like, well, to them it probably does. Yeah. That makes us feel good. All right, let's go to bed. I don't know. It's interesting. But anyway, she reached Molly Monahan. Sorry, not Molly Monahan. Man, I'm obsessed with that neighbor that all she wants is a bike.
It's a great name, by the way, Molly Monahan. It's a great name.
These people should have been the Monahans.
Jeannie Burke is not Burke or Bet, but
Hanks.
Burke. I don't know where I got Burke from.
Well, but Hanks is her maiden name.
Yeah. And Granger's her married name.
She decides to take matters into her own hands and write a letter to Santa.
Yeah, this is what's got to happen. She feels if she goes direct to Santa. Little Abby, that's the little kid's name.
Okay. And not for the last time in this movie does she leave her house in the middle of the night, seemingly. So she goes across the street to mail this letter, and of course, Gideon is there.
He's just waiting for her.
He looks even more terrifying in the darkness.
And the way he does this soft approach, and she is not at all alarmed.
No.
She is just like, he takes the letter. Does he approach her first and then take the letter out, or does she watch him take the letter?
She puts it into the mailbox.
Right. And then he comes out and blue lights it out.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they have this talk, and he basically tells her how he became an angel, that he is an angel.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, Dad, we forgot to talk about, so the dad might be a bit of a deadbeat. He doesn't pack a box, but he is adorable when he puts his kids to bed, or at least his little girl to bed. Remember,
I love that move. That's a great move. I've never done that. I should have done that tonight.
It's so cute. He flips her upside down and he kind of sweeps the bed with her head and then lays her down.
Well, no, but there's a purpose to it, because he picks her up by her ankles and he sweeps her, but as he sweeps her, she pulls the covers down. Like, she grabs the bedspread, pulls it down, grabs the sheet, pulls it down.
And then he tucks her in, and they have a very sweet conversation about angels.
Yep.
Very unlike a couple of scenes later, the mom puts them to bed, and she's just like, yeah, I'm sick and tired of you talking about Christmas and Santa.
Christmas sucks. Go to bed. Good night.
Stop telling me to mail your stupid letter. I'm not going to do it. And the dad and her are like, these angels.
I had to work a 12-hour shift and then clean the house when I got home for people that are moving in next week.
I can't even take a shower in peace around here.
I tried to sing Stop in the Name of Love, and I was so self-conscious. I barely got the words out.
That scene was so intense. I thought she was going to slip on because they show her feet moving on the floor of the shower. I'm like, she's going to fall. She's
everything. This movie, I looked online. Someone cut this movie together as a horror trailer, and it is so great.
I can see that.
It's so amazing because it's just Harry Dean Stanton with terrifying music. Her feet in the shower, like standing awkwardly.
That's awesome. What happened to Gideon was he was a cattle farmer or cattle? Yeah. He was riding a cattle, and
he wasn't riding. Like he was just a farmer. Like he was just working on a farm.
And a kid had drowned over in Snake River, and he saved the kid from drowning, but he couldn't swim, so he didn't make it. And so he explains to the little girl Abby, this is how he became a Christmas angel. And when he died, they just told him, "You're a Christmas angel." And he was like, "Okay,
right, yeah.
Give me my hat and my trench coat. I'm ready."
Hat, trench coat, got it. He does tell us that his job is every year he has to give one person the Christmas spirit. Yeah. So he does not work. Like, this is the easiest job of an angel, I believe. Yeah. It's not
maybe
year
he
round.
Has to bring Easter spirit to somebody and maybe 4th of July spirit to somebody else. You don't know.
I don't know. You think he's just like a freelance angel, just doing whatever he can for whoever he can?
Maybe.
That's why he can't go into Santa's workshop. He's like, listen, Santa doesn't know I'm handling this.
Yeah, I got this on the DL,
Yeah, somebody else was supposed to do this. Yeah. He passed it on to me. I'm just going to hang back. Listen, you're in the North Pole. The house is only a half mile away.
You can't
you're
miss
in
it.
You're
Mrs.
in
Claus
your
is
PJs.
super friendly. Yeah.
Right. You can make it.
You'll be okay, kid.
I like how they do not make... They make Mrs. Claus really look like a very old woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I always feel like they kind of make her in shows a little bit younger than Santa.
You think?
Not a whole lot younger, but kind of put together. Like, I feel like her hair's always like in a bun.
She's a bit disheveled, this one.
She looks like a witch.
Yeah. This one's a little more on edge. Although so is he. Like, she's like, don't forget your lunch, or here's your jacket. He's like, oh, I have to
jacket? What?
Oh,
wait, it's Christmas? Wait, what? Yeah, he seems disheveled. He's very confused most of the time. Yeah.
Well, he's been doing the Santa gig for a while, so.
A long while, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So he's... In explaining, in Harry Dean's explanation of how he became an angel, he also enlists Abby's help. That he is here to bring some Christmas cheer or spirit back, but he needs her help to get her mom in the spirit, and tells her to write to you take this letter that you wrote and mailed to Santa and give it to your mom. Have your mom mail it. It'll help her spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that I am defending Mary Steenburgen, and I am just piling on to her husband here, but she doesn't mail the letter. Just mail the letter. Like, if your kid gives you a letter from Santa, don't be like, whatever, this is nonsense. No, just put it in a drawer. Why are you doing that?
Because she's a miserable woman. She's not happy. Life is not good. Santa is the last thing on her mind, and she says, even somebody says to her, why don't you say Merry Christmas? And she says, well, half the people don't mean it anyway. She's unhappy. And she really is she is on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
If this was a regular episode and at the end you had to recommend a movie, you would recommend Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
She's on edge.
Let's talk about how they go see Granddad.
Oh, and yep.
And it is not the kid's granddad, it is their father's granddad.
Yeah,
because the kids refer to him as great granddad.
Right. Now on the trip there, we get a little we take a little drive to great granddad's. And that's when we hear how mom and dad were met on a blind date.
Yes.
And he's always thinks she's the prettiest girl in the world, and that she grew up in a Ramada Inn. Her dad was a hotel manager.
Right, yes. So, I did think they had a funny little thing where the kid said, "Oh, Dad, is that where you met Mom at the hotel?" And he's like, "Nope, the hotels came later."
And she's like...
And she, like, slaps it. Like, it's pretty funny, like a playful hit. Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. They go see Great Granddad, who... when the kids ask him if he believes in Santa, and he's like, "Oh, my family, we've always been great believers. We're strong believers in Santa." Like, all right, you could have just said yes. Like,
he really goes, "Of course we do. I mean, this is what our family is. We're the Grangers. We believe in Santa, period. The end. That's who we are."
You may say he stops at my house every year. Go downstairs at night, you'll see him.
So then Grandpa takes them up to the attic. That's when he gives them the gifts. And that's when Abby sits on that rocking horse and is so excited about the old wooden rocking horse. Like, how come Grandpa didn't bust this out sooner, give it to her?
Right. Yeah. You're too old for that now. Where's this been your whole life?
Yeah, exactly. She's rocking on it like it's the best thing she'd ever seen.
Can we talk about this when they're brushing their teeth?
Oh.
The brother and the sister?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Can Santa really see you everywhere?"
Yeah.
And the brother's like, "Oh, yeah, of course." And she goes,
"In the bathroom."
In the bathroom. And when the brother says no, she is so relieved, because I can only imagine she's like, "Oh, good. Yeah. Harry Dean Stanton won't visit me in the bathroom." Like, I have one place where I am safe from the prying eyes of that creep who shows up in her bedroom.
He's just right in her bedroom with a blue glowing light. Wow. He appears. He's just in her house. There's Gideon, right?
It's pretty great.
And he breaks her new snow globe that she just got from her grandpa, her great grandpa, but then fixes it to show her, I think, to just reassure her that he is magic.
Yes.
And he gives her this analogy about fixing broken people. Like, I can fix this, but I can't fix a broken person. Your mother is a big hot mess, basically, and she's not as...
Before he shows up, I thought this was so telling, and I would be so sad if my kids asked me a question like this. When Mary Steenburgen's putting her kid to bed and is like, "Shut up, sit down, get in bed, blah, blah, blah." The little girl goes, "Do you think Mrs. Claus is crabby to her kids?"
Oh, yeah. She goes, "All moms are crabby sometimes." Right. Not dads, though. They tuck us in bed with a cool little thing that they hold our ankles by. And he's not
working a 12-hour shift at the grocery store. He has time to work on this routine during the day.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that is kind of telling. She's like... But so when Gideon comes, he kind of does a little, like, prophetic moment. He's like, the next 24 hours are going to be really heavy for you. Things are going to get trippy. But when you're ready, you find me. I'll be in the tree. So another thing the dad does, you say he's a deadbeat, but he is setting up the whole town square for Christmas. He's decorating.
Don't make it seem like this is something he should be doing rather than looking for work.
He is all about the Christmas tree.
He's so upset that they won't put lights on the Christmas tree in the town square. And so he takes it upon himself. He and his weird friend / brother.
They rent a generator or something? They bring a generator?
I don't know. They have a generator. And at one point he's like, "Oh, when your wife finds out you paid for this with your own money." And he's like, "Shh, don't say anything."
She doesn't know,
Oh, man. So, I did find it very disturbing when Harry Dean Stanton, as you kind of said, talks to this girl and he's like, "Just promise me whatever happens, you're not going to be scared. I was like, oh no, yeah. Where is this movie going? Yeah. Don't, again, talking to the children that are listening, don't trust a stranger if they say that to you.
No, yeah, that's another big, yeah.
That is stranger danger. If somebody says, whatever I do to you, don't be scared. That is red flags. Yeah. Go get a policeman.
You want to go back and hold your doll and tell your brother all about it.
Right, yes. Yeah, chances are if a stranger says that to you, they're not taking you to see Santa.
Yeah. Right? Not if it's the angel, though.
I know.
So, yeah, he gives her this warning, and then off they
Harry
go.
Dean Stanton did just die. So I guess if you see Harry Dean Stanton, he might actually be an angel.
He could be. I mean, maybe you need to approach what you think of an angel in a different way. Mm-hmm. I think you do.
Just a cigarette-smoking angel. All right.
Now they have their fight, the mom and dad, right? Have the fight that kind of sets off what we realize after seeing sets off the trajectory of what's about to happen. So,
yes.
They have a fight at the table because why? Oh, he's thinking about this bike shop, and she's
working up the numbers for the bike shop.
Yeah, and she's like, you're an idiot. You need to get a job with a steady paycheck, not think about this bike shop. But then again, they have a nice relationship, so he kind of gets off, and you think he's going to be like, I just got to go to the bar and get a drink, or I'm going to so-and-so's house, we're going to play cards. No, he just wants to go for a walk around the block, basically.
Right, yeah.
And she follows him out, and that's when we had talked about she kind of tells him the story about a piano teacher and this really sad song, and kind of she is just a Debbie Downer. She's in a bad way. So, you know when someone's depressed and like they're like Eeyore, you know, you just can't. She's like, wah. And he's like, you're not helping. I just need to go for this walk on my own. And she's like, well. Then the next day is Christmas Eve, right?
Oh. And her family is making her feel like a sack of crap because she has to go to work.
She should. They're like,
no. These people can eat because of her. This is the only income they have.
It's Christmas Eve, and she has a family. They're about to not be in this house. I don't know where the dad gets his money, but he rolls up later. They have two separate cars because whose car does she take? She takes a car when she has to chase the bank robber. That's hers?
But no. That's the bank robber's car. Oh. Because the dad parked the bank robber in.
And that kid went to the bus station. That's why there was no kid in that car. All right.
No, but he spends money on a tree. Like,
because what's Christmas without a tree when you got kids?
No, I'm not. No. You don't make a parent... Again, kids out there, if your parent has to work on Christmas...
Because all the kids that are our patrons...
If they have to work on Christmas Day to make sure that you can eat lunch, don't make your parent feel like a piece of garbage for doing it.
They got great-granddad as a backup, all right? Clearly, they're going to be okay to eat. She's eating some kind of steak with ketchup a couple of scenes earlier with the dad. I don't know what it is, but she's eating some sort of brown meat.
I just assume that's ground beef. I don't think they're eating steak in this family.
I don't know. I'm a vegetarian, so anything brownie and meaty, I'm like, it must be. I don't know. Yep. So I think that so whatever. Her family is upset. Yes. They don't want her. She is like, well, tough shit. I have to work a double. Somebody's got to work in this family.
Work a double.
And they're like, but you're going to miss the Christmas tree lighting downtown. We're going to miss, when are we going to decorate our tree? She's like, we'll do it. Tomorrow's another day. We're going to get the shit done tomorrow when I'm not working. I have to go. Right. My ride's here. Bye.
Yeah, what every family wants to hear. We'll decorate our tree on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Definitely no Christmas spirit here.
I don't even think they have a tree at this time, do they?
No, just the town has the tree, really.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Wait, did she see... Oh, wait. We forgot to mention when Mom sees Harry Dean.
Oh, yes. Yeah. She goes out to the mailbox at one point. She sees him after her husband walks away in a huff, right?
Oh, right. That's what it is. Yeah, the husband walks away, and then Harry Dean appears. And again, she's only slightly startled. She's like, do I know you?
Right, yeah.
But she's not as creeped out as you would be if a figure like that approached you.
No.
But
Maybe she's hoping he's a murderer. She's like, the sweet release of death.
Yeah, exactly. Just get this life over. When I come back, I want to have that second bathroom. Yes. He openly is just like, you don't have the spirit. You need to find some Christmas spirit. That's your problem. And I wish you would find it. And she's like, How did he know? How did he know I was a grumpy lady? Did he see me in the mall yelling at my children, not letting them go take a picture with Santa?
It's not quite that. He just knows her name, and she doesn't understand that.
Yes, he does. He says, he says her name. And then when he walks away, all the Christmas lights go off.
Oh, yeah. The whole town descends into darkness. Just as later, all the lights come back on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the next day, she's on her way to work, and she stops at the gas station because I assume she can put like 2 gallons of gas in that car.
No, her friend. She's got a ride from her friend, and the friend is like,
yes,
I got exactly $8. Watch the pump.
Everybody is in dire straits in this town.
Everyone's broke in this town. Hardship. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Case in point, Dorito Chips pulls up.
Trying to sell his car. Trying to sell his camp oven.
And I do like the guy at the gas station attendant or whatever. He's like, you don't even have any papers to prove that this is your car?
Yeah.
I can't buy this off of you.
I'm not buying it from you. He's like, no, it's not going to happen here.
Yeah.
So that's when the man just decides right then, I'm going to take these matters in my own hands. Tells the son, I'm going to take you to the bus station.
Take you to the bus station.
And Jeannie sees, all of this go down. She witnesses all of this, and it's just, where it's going to go, we don't know.
And she's probably pretty happy. I mean, she's like, Dorito Chips. That guy was such a creep to me yesterday. And now, clearly is having a hard time. I don't know how badly she feels for him at this point.
Well, I think it's that moment.
But she does see it all.
I think it's that moment where you're like, where you understand sometimes somebody's a jerk, and they're a jerk because they have their own crap going on.
Sure.
And I think it's that moment, if I can think this deeply about this movie and this character.
Please do.
I think it's the moment where she realizes, okay, I'm not the only one in Schitt's Creek right now.
Right, and which is surprising because the entire town is in this whole problem as well.
True.
She
Except
should know.
for the new family moving in who could afford to repaint the yellow kitchen and do all kinds of stuff.
That family's 2 years away from becoming this family.
They don't know, right? This town's about to suck their souls and their bank account.
That's basically. Right. Yep. They're the next Monahans.
Yep, basically. So now we see the dad driving the car with the tree on it. And the kids are happy in the back. And he's like, now this is Christmas Eve, and this town is bustling. Like, the grocery store is open. The bank is open. I don't know about you, but my bank is closed. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I thought.
We have a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's open around us on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be more. I mean, this movie takes place in the 80s. It used to be that places were closed. It used to be that places were closed on Sunday. Like, it was like, Sunday, nope, nothing.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that's not the case anymore because I'm like, I don't know, you got Saturday and Sunday.
It's my only day to do stuff. Yeah. Well, he goes into the bank. Mm-hmm. And this Abby, this little girl, can't stay put for 1 second. She can't stay in the house. She can't stay in the car.
Yep.
And she's like, I'm going to go see Mom. And she runs into the grocery store where her mom works.
Yeah.
Gets her mom in trouble and fired because she tells the mom, Mom's like, what are you doing here? Well, Dad had to go to the bank. He got us a tree. And she's like, oh, no, he's not going to the bank.
He got you a tree? And he's going to the bank? What? Yeah. What is happening? He doesn't have a job.
And she can't have this. So she is about to leave work. She's like, it's going to take me 2 seconds. I have to stop my husband from taking any money out of the account because he's gone bonkers. And the boss is, that's it. If you leave now, you're fired. And she goes into the bank, and we have it's so funny because the shower scene is a lot more, like, the setup is so much more intense than this scene.
So much more intense. This scene, it's over in no time.
No, it's so quick.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize
Chips goes up. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I didn't even realize Dorito Chips had the gun because he goes up he goes calmly. There's a line in the bank. It's a busy day in the bank. And he just walks up to the teller and is like, I need you to give me all your money. And first he puts like a paper bag on, and then he reveals the gun. And it's all, I mean, it's tense, but it's not like this crazy. And then
it's not. And that dim-witted, dopey dad does what you should never do. If I am ever in a bank robbery, I've seen enough movies. You lay down on the ground and you don't say anything. You don't say a word.
You don't say a peep. I was in a bank robbery once with my grandparents.
Were you really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
In New York City. Well, in New York, not in the city, but yeah.
What happened?
I was a little kid, and I just remember I was with them, and they used to have, I guess they still do, have lollipops and stuff. I think I hid by the
you just stole a
couch.
bunch and were like, let's get out of here.
Yeah, I think my grandparents started distracting me. Like, I didn't even realize what was happening.
Wow.
And, yeah. And when we got back from the bank, it took us a really long time at the bank. When we got back, my parents were like, what the heck? And,
wow, that's amazing. Cool.
Yeah. There you have it.
So your grandfather wasn't like, hey, buddy, calm down. Everybody's cool here. Don't worry.
No.
It's Christmas Eve. Don't rob a bank or whatever the dad says.
No, yeah, that's what he said. Well, no, because he takes a hostage, which is weird.
Yes, he does.
He's like, I'm going to take this woman, and then nobody will get hurt, and don't say anything. And that's what the dad stands up for. He's like, listen, nobody will let you fight you. Just go, but leave the woman. It's Christmas Eve. And he kind of freaks out and shoots.
Shoots him.
Right when Jeannie has just walked in, basically. Yeah. So she sees this, and now her husband's dead, and then he jumps. Now, all of a sudden, the movie has gone from oh my God, we're so sad and depressed, to holy shit, this is some real sadness that's happening.
Yes, so it turns into a crazy mix of sadness and an action movie for about 5 minutes.
So he jumps, Dorito Man jumps into her car, the car with her kids in it, and she's just processing.
Dad double parked him in.
So he can't get.
And everybody also leaves their keys in the car in this town too.
It's what you do.
Yeah, it's a small town.
Yeah. So she is still just processing the fact that she watched her husband get shot, and she realizes he's drove off in the car that has her kids in it. So she's like, "My kids are in there." And she chases him, and his car is in bad shape. That's why he's trying to sell it, I guess. The oil light's going on, and she basically stalls out while she's following him up this snowy road.
I will say, Mary Steenburgen, listen, you've been around for a long time.
Yeah, you have.
Acting some great stuff.
Sure thing.
I said earlier, you're a super attractive older woman.
Yeah.
She's not quite reacting to the level you should be at this time.
Well,
she seems kind of calm about all of this.
Yeah.
She should be out of her mind. But she just seems really annoyed.
Yeah. Well, now because she's not even done with her shift yet, and this is the middle of her shift.
Done with her shift. She has been fired. Her husband has been killed. Her car has been stolen. And we're getting to the worst part of her day.
I think that's maybe what's happening here. Again, if I could get a little introspective.
Oh.
You know when things you've had a really shitty day and it's
sure.
More shit just keeps happening. It's just so you just get numb. You're like, all right, this is just the day when I'm going to spill the coffee. I'm going to step in the dog poo. I'm going to lose my keys. It's just happening.
But Jamie, nowhere in there did you say my family was murdered before my eyes. Spilling coffee and then your car doesn't start is one thing.
But this is the day she's having. The Christmas Eve.
It is a day.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve.
Her car stalls out, and then a guy's still driving, and he hits a cop car.
Yeah, they set up a roadblock.
Yeah.
On a bridge.
Yeah, smart cops in this town. And the car just drives off the bridge into the water. And you're right. Even when she watches, you don't even see the car floating. You just see this cold, icy river floating by. And she just watches it well, all my kids, my husband, my children. Even later when she goes and she's just in her bathroom crying. I thought she was going to take a shower. I thought she was going to be well, finally, I could take a shower without an
Nobody's going to be taking a piss,
dead.
breaking down the door to pee.
But yeah,
and it is so sad because this car, it still has the Christmas tree on the roof as it goes into this like icy river too.
Yeah, very, very.
Oh, yeah. And the timing is amazing too because, as you said, she ran out of gas or the car stalled out or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's picked up by cops.
Yeah.
And they get to the bridge just in time for her to see this happen.
To watch it go down. Yeah. I mean, it's just not.
It's insane.
Tragedy upon tragedy.
I couldn't even believe that this was the movie I was watching 5 minutes ago at this point.
I know. We do make a real switch. Like, we're like, and then I'm like, I'm craving some Harry Dean at this point. I'm like, where's that angel?
And also remember, Harry Dean and or Santa is making all of this happen.
Exactly. To teach her a lesson about Christmas spirit. Right. So it doesn't last. She's home and she's sad in the bathroom and she goes in the kids' room and you see the breakdown's about to happen when great-granddad comes with some good news. The cops said that the kids, they're okay. The kids are totally fine.
I knew it wasn't going to happen in this movie, but I was so ready for like a suicide attempt. Like when she's
it's a Disney movie.
I know. We just watched everybody die. What do you mean? But yeah, like I was, and this is why you don't do it. This is why you don't.
Yeah.
If Romeo and Juliet didn't teach you, this is why you don't commit suicide because there's a chance that your kids who were in that car weren't really in that car? Question mark.
So, well, the granddad is like, this looks like the guy left them on the side before he drove the car.
Clearly that happened.
No, it was Harry Dean, who is an expert at saving drowning children.
He's an expert at moving hockey pucks and kids out of cars.
He saved them. He brought them, and they're okay. And she is thrilled when she sees them.
Yes, I do think it's funny when they're in the car and Dorito Chips is there and he's like, oh, so what did you kids say your names are? Like,
he's like, I'm Harry.
Casual conversation with them.
He's like, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. We're just going to go for a drive to the bus station to pick up my son.
So you're the kids of that Dorito Chip woman.
Yeah, I think I just
murdered her husband. Oh boy, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, this might not be a. Yeah. Well, again, our little Abby cannot stay in the house. She just got back from her drowning. Mom is so happy to have or at least that.
Well, she has to explain to these kids that their dad is dead, and that's really a tragic scene.
Yeah, she has to, and they're like, well, "What do you mean?
Yeah, when's he coming home?
Yeah,
where is he?
All right, and then the little girl says something
dead,
like,
but when can we expect him back?
The little girl says, "Well, he's never died before.
Right.
He's never done this before." So sad.
Terrible.
And she's like, "You just have to be okay with this. He is not coming back. He is dead." It is. You're like, "Oh my gosh." And again, this woman, what a day. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, if you want her to believe in Christmas, this is not the way to do it. This is like the worst Christmas ever for her.
Right. No. And you have to imagine that a little part of her, she's got her kids back. A little part of her might be relieved that her husband's dead. Just a little, bit, little.
She loves him.
I know, but I don't know.
Now she's got to hire somebody to stay with the kids. It's been since June. Now, Abby is going to leave the house again because she's going to find Gideon because she feels like Gideon can help bring her dad back. He's magic.
And at one point earlier, Gideon was like, hey, if you ever need me, go to the town tree. That's where I kind of hang out.
The mom kind of follows her out but doesn't ever find her. That's when the mom meets up with the brother friend. Because
the mom's like,
little
oh
brother's
no, my
snitch,
kid ran away.
Man. No, the little brother snitches.
What? Wait, what?
Her little brother snitches on her.
Yes, yeah.
Abby meets up with Harry Dean. Harry Dean takes her to the North Pole.
Oh my God.
So they're just there. They just all of a sudden, they're like looking upon this magical house in this snowy...
And they're just like making this girl jump through hoops because she goes up to Harry Dean Stanton. She's like, hey, can you bring my father back? He's dead. And he's like, nope, I can't, but I know someone who might. And then she talks to Santa, and Santa's like, nope, you know what? I can't. But you know who can? Your mom. Well,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, she goes to the North Pole, meets Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, knocks on the door, totally cash, totes cash. And it's just like, hey, is Santa here? Does Santa live here? She's like, Nicholas, you have a visitor. And, they have a nice conversation by the fireplace where, she's like, she's like, please, we don't need any other gifts. You can give all our gifts to Molly. What is her name?
Molly Monahan.
Molly Monahan. We don't need them. Just bring Dad
I like
back.
when she says Molly Monahan and Santa looks like, yeah, I've heard of her before.
Yeah.
He has this real strange knowing look, like almost confused, like, oh, I haven't visited them in quite a while.
Jeez. Oh, man, the Monahans. Oops.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been forgetting about them. Oh, ever since her dad died. Oh. Then he walks her through his factory, which, and in every other movie you've seen, Santa's workshop is bright and colorful, and there's elves, and there's music. This is like a Depression era factory.
Yeah, it does. It is sort of. There's some squeaker toys. You hear a squeaker toy that they're making, and they're definitely not elves there. There's also it's old. It's just people.
Yeah, as we said, they're basically zombies.
When they walk around, she's like, "Isn't that my janitor that died from my school?" And he's like, well, yeah, actually.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's the deal about the people here in Santa's workshop. They are actually dead people. Mm-hmm. All different people that have died now to come here and help me. It's cheap labor, you know?
For all of eternity. I assume.
I like it when he asks her. So they need to work on Mom. How do they work on Mom? We're going to show her the letter that she wrote when she was a little one to Santa. And I like when he's like, what's your mom's name? She's just like, Jeannie. And he's like, I'm going to need a last name.
Last name,
that's not going to be
idiot.
enough. Yeah, exactly. Jeannie, huh? Well, but he finds it pretty quickly. It's a great system he's got there because he finds it.
He keeps every letter that children write to him.
He's a
through
pack rat.
History. It's amazing. Yes.
So he gives her the letter, and he's just like, you're going to give this to your mom, and it's going to just blow her mind. So you give this to her. It's
so great. And then I love how he walks her back into, like, his office or wherever that fire is, and he puts on his coat, and he looks at Mrs. Claus, and he's like, make sure she gets home. I got to go.
He's got a long night ahead of him.
Yes, of course he does.
We don't know how, but she's back. She's home, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's, like, magically transported back to Gideon, and then they're magically transported back to the big tree.
Right.
And then she runs home from there.
And then her mom is like, I've been worried about you. Where have you been? And really, so she's husband's gone. She thought her kids were dead. Now her daughter's missing for a bunch of hours. And she tells her, I've been to the North Pole. And the mom doesn't get nearly as angry as you think she could and should about all this.
This is the same day her husband just died. Like, do you really need to lay into your kids right now? Because she even puts her to bed, and the daughter's like, Mom, are you going to spank me? And I was like, oh no, she hits her kids too? Like, and then I thought, of course she does. Like, that's her only sweet release from this horrible life.
Sweet release.
Oh.
The mom, of course, doesn't believe. No, you weren't at the North Pole. And she's like, well, Santa gave me your letter. Check my jacket pocket. That's where it is. And when the mom looks, like, it's not even, well, I guess you wouldn't. When you see a letter that you wrote as a kid, it's not like you're like, well, wait a minute. How did you get this? Right. So she's like, and it's funny because, again, she lived at the Ramada Inn. So the letter she wrote is on Ramada.
It's on Ramada Inn stationery. It's really amazing. It's so cute. I love this daughter's room, by the way. Every time we were in this room, like, she has alphabet posters on the wall.
Oh, yeah, she does have cool.
Did you see that poster on the back of her door?
On the back of the door?
Pictures of things. It's like banana, cake, floppy hat, moon.
Yeah.
This is so great.
It's a great room. I agree. Better than the brother's weird bunk bed room.
Ooh, and the brother has. I had a friend that had the wallpaper that the brother had with vintage cars, like almost like old timey sketches that would be in newspapers of old cars. Yeah.
Now that she's got her letter, she goes and gets her daughter's letter.
Yes.
She goes to mail it. She runs into Gideon again, and the spirit's starting to lift in her. All the Christmas lights in the town go back on. Things are starting to look up. And next thing she knows, who's walking up the street? Who's that?
It's that dopey dad.
I was like, who's that? Is that the... And there it is. And we get a Christmas Eve do-over.
Right, yes. It is now the day before Christmas Eve. Yes.
And Mom is happy. She's looking well-rested. She's going to take the day off.
Oh,
she's not going into work.
Response to her family's reaction to her taking the day off is really like, no, seriously, are you really?
Yeah.
No, really? Yeah, they are so happy.
Well,
they're so happy.
This is what she missed. Again, by making these drab decisions, staying in this depressed state. I mean, I have to work all these hours. I can't be. Just enjoy the Christmas Eve with your family. And she does. She takes the day off. She goes to get gas in her car and sees the man again trying to sell his car. And she buys the camp stove. She doesn't have $50, but she's going to buy his camp stove for $50.
She's going to buy it. Yeah, I like how he's like, wait, really?
Yeah.
You're really going to buy this?
She's like, yeah, I really need one.
I just really need a camp stove.
I just need one. And yeah, because they're about to be homeless. So she's going to cook her family dinner somehow.
Here you go, Dorito chips. Here you are.
And there she goes, and he's not going to kill anybody, and he's so grateful to her, and he's like, you don't know how much this means to me, and she's like, I think I do, because I think in a dream, I saw you shot my husband, so I think that really I do know. She goes into work.
You don't have to take your kid to the bus station anymore.
Yeah.
You can just go home.
Just go, here's $50, get some, I don't know, whatever you need to do. She tells her manager, right? She don't care if he's going to fire her. She's taking the day off. He, like you said earlier, he's like, all right, come back on Tuesday.
Yeah, don't come back till Thursday morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm the greatest boss.
All works out. They deliver the bike to Molly Monahan.
Yep.
So happy. They light the tree in town. This town gets so excited when this tree is lit.
Everyone is there.
Cheering and clapping. And
the great-granddad is there.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
It's amazing. And then we see a shadow of Gideon.
Oh, Gideon's still creeping around.
He just appears. He's just like there. And then we celebrate Christmas at great-granddad's house. I'm assuming that's the house that the tree is in. And
yes,
she writes a check to her husband for $5,000 for his bike shop. Puts it on the tree. The kids are trying to go to sleep, and they hear the hoops. They hear Santa.
Do the kids sleep in the attic? Are they in the attic?
Yeah, they're in a creepy spot with a flashlight. Right. I'm not sure where.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Maybe that's why they're not staying at great granddad's for too long. I'm not sure. But
that is a spacious place. He makes the kids sleep in the attic.
He's like, it's upstairs with you. The rocking horse will keep you warm. They don't go downstairs to search for it. They just hear the hooves and look out the window, and they're like, it's Santa. It's what it is. Yes. She goes downstairs and sees Santa fumbling about, forgetting to turn on the Christmas lights and putting the finishing touches on all the gifts. And
it's so great.
Her face when she's like...
Yeah.
mesmerized. It's like Cindy Lou Who all over again. She is like, you are the Santa Claus. And he's just like, Merry Christmas, Jenny.
Oh, yeah. At first they lock eyes, and Santa's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
You saw me. Somebody saw me.
Yeah. But then he's glad of who it is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, he's like, Gideon finally did a good job this year.
Right?
I can only imagine he's had a pretty bad track record.
And
that's it. We close with Harry Dean Stanton back in the tree.
That is, playing his harmonica.
Yes. Waiting for next year when he has to convince one more person to have a good Christmas.
Molly, maybe.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's One Magic Christmas.
One Magic Christmas.
No, you didn't like it?
Oh, no, I loved it.
No, okay.
I loved it. I didn't. I loved it for... I just loved it for how crazy it was, because it's so bonkers.
It is a little.
And I think you and I just disagreed about the dad, how I just thought he was a horrible deadbeat. Now he doesn't really care for his kids. He just loves Molly Monahan. But no, this is a movie where you have to see it to understand how nuts this movie is.
Yeah. And it is, though. It is good. At the end, it does give you a good Christmas vibe. It has all the components of a good Christmas movie. Like, you get to see the mall at Christmas time. You get to see tree. You get to see there's an angel involved. You get to see Santa. You see the North Pole. There's interesting twists on all of that. But it is a Christmas. It's a Christmas movie for sure. And it is one that I would put in my
this is going in circulation for your Christmas.
I don't see why it shouldn't.
No, I don't see why either. I mean, there is
too bad.
100% more child death in this than a lot of other Christmas movies.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know though that it's child. I think it's a good adult Christmas movie.
Yeah, I don't,
because it helps an adult feel. Like, I don't think a kid needs to know about all that. Like you said, if you're a kid, if you're my husband and you're a kid and you're watching this, maybe it's because you're a sad kid.
It's heavy. Like, heavy. I mean, I was laughing my way through it because I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Right.
But children shouldn't watch this movie.
No, it's not that. It's not like a Rudolph or a Frosty or
right.
Yeah, this is like but it's and I think in the description it says award-winning Mary Steenburgen does a strong performance, and it is. I would say she does a very strong performance.
Yeah.
And
I wish that she was like nominated for an Academy Award.
And for this,
and they just played the shower scene as her nomination clip.
Be amazing.
All right. Well,
there you have it, patrons.
Yeah, there you have it, patrons. Thank you so much. We hope that you've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And we're not done. Because on Christmas Eve, you're going to get an episode that will probably clock about half the time as this one. We'll see.
Yeah.
But Jamie, would you like to tell them what we're going to do? Because it was your choice. As I was kind of responsible for picking the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas last year.
Right.
I said we should do a animated Christmas special every year. It'll come out on Christmas Eve.
Fun.
And this year, I guess we're just going to trade off. This was your choice.
Yeah.
So what did you choose?
Well, I think 80s Christmas, you can't not, in some form, if you're a child of the 80s and you think about Christmas, not think about the Cabbage Patch Kids. And they did a Christmas special. I've seen it.
Who knew? Other than you.
Well, us Cabbage Patch fans. And so we are going to watch Cabbage Patch. I think it's just called a Cabbage Patch Christmas special.
I think it's called the Cabbage Patch Kids First Christmas.
Oh, okay. Because they have a
I don't know. Maybe they have multiple specials, but that was the only one I found.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was surprised because I feel like I've seen every animated Christmas special. California Raisins, check.
Oh, all over that one.
Garfield, my personal favorite.
Love
yes.
it.
But I had never heard of this one.
Sure thing.
I don't know how it slipped by me. But yeah, so patrons, look for another bonus episode on Christmas Eve.
That's
right. You can prepare for a day of gifts, or maybe your neighbor will give you a bike or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But you can listen to us the day before Christmas. So thank you again.
And happy holiday, whichever you celebrate.
Right. Yes. All right, everybody, we will talk to you soon, whether it's a Tony Danza movie or Cabbage Patch Kids. I haven't checked the calendar. I don't know when you're going to hear from us next. Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Hey, you already rang up them Dorito chips already.
Oh, okay. You're right. I'll take it off your toast.
See what you tried to pull on me? See that? Next time I'm going to the A&P.
Please be my guest. Next time, go to the A&P.
All right.
That's $16.64 minus the potato chips.
Got that 5 cents, Frankie? Come on.
Okay, fine then. Thank you.
Ginny, let's step on it here. Your line's backing up.
Hey, Herbie, why don't you get off her back? She's behind because she made your announcement for you.
Yeah, well,